Welcome back to Perp Games, and today we are playing Mini Motor Racing X. As you well know, we have just published this as of today at retailers everywhere. It's the first of 3 games that we're publishing from the binary mill, and I'm just going to be playing through a couple of the levels. I'm going to do this in non-VR mode, and I'm just going to kind of show you how the game plays, what kind of things you can do. Basically, as you've seen here, I can upgrade my car, you can adjust the handling, the nitro, the acceleration, and you've also got a classic and a Type X mode as well. So I'm going to go Type X mode. I'm going to feel really experimental with this. So it means you've got lots of pickups, you can attack enemies, kind of like Mario Kart style. But this is kind of like a Micro Machines meets a Mario Kart, I suppose. So yeah, we're just going to dive into the first couple of levels here so you can get a real feel for this. And yeah, essentially, as I've mentioned, you know, Mini Motor Racing X is playable flat screen, pancake mode, as people like to call it, or in VR. So I'm actually playing this in non-VR. I'm not doing too well to start here, getting used to the controls a little bit, so you know, bear with me. But you know, I mean, it's been really great working with the binary mill on these games. It's been great to actually bring to retail. I think something I've really enjoyed about this game in particular is just how, you know, freeing and fulfilling it is, and just how simple the controls are. I think anyone can literally grab a controller and get into this. As you can see, I've adjusted the camera mode here. I'm playing with the camera modes a little bit. Playing with the camera mode so you can get a kind of feel for the different angles you can have here. Obviously got full on top down, you can kind of look at it from the sides, over the shoulder kind of view. Yeah, I think that's the great thing about this. It's very sort of, it's easy to pick up and play, and it's a great VR game as well. So basically you look as if you've got the steering wheel in your hand there, so you can get a real feel of the whole track and look around and, you know, explore that environment to its full. But as mentioned, this is not just a VR game. Oh, third place, not the best of starts. You get cash from depending on how well you do in each race. Obviously, there you can see I got a 1 star on my trophy, so that wasn't the best of starts. But you get different prize money for each track as well. So yeah, I mean, you can load between the tracks and get a feel for them. But you know, I think that's the great thing about this, is that you can earn more and more money. You can upgrade your cars even further. You can develop. You can get new cars. And of course you get these different environments. I mean, this is quite radically different from where we were just at. This has got a nice kind of beach vibe to it, isn't it? There's like about 50 different environments total with this as well. As mentioned, you've got like tropical environments like this as well, but you've got like neon cityscapes, there's an airport, you know, there's all types of things you can see, you know, within Mini Motor Racing X. Essentially, though, it is like about micro muscle cars in this. So, I mean, as I mean, there are lots of cars to explore. There's lots of championships to unlock and master, and obviously you've got different types of weapons as well. So, I mean, there's a rocket. You've got nitro boost. You can even actually put hurricanes in your enemies and kind of like kind of swirling winds, so you can throw them off course. And you've just got to really use a hybrid of all those different abilities to really, you know, get to first place, especially in Type X mode. But there is a classic mode where you literally just use nitro to get around the tracks, and you can kind of like do this in typical Micro Machines fashion. Yeah, it was first place there. It's not too bad at all. I'm quite happy with that. So I got $75 as a result of that. But yeah, you can jump online as well. So this is an online game. You don't have to just play it locally, or you don't have to play it solo. You can play friends, or you can challenge random people online. You can even get some scores with like a bumper ball mode. And you can play the whole career through, as mentioned, in 2-player local co-op as well. So, I mean, the game really is very, very flexible. It's great for families. So whether or not you want to play online, whether or not you want to play locally, whether or not you just want to play by yourself, there is something for everyone in Mini Motor Racing X, absolutely. And it's a massive career mode. I mean, like, as a solo player, it's a really big single-player campaign career mode, championship mode in this, with 4 different championships, 52 tracks. You know, there's all kinds of different abilities. There's variants and night and day. You know, everything is just, it's really wonderfully designed and really well put together. There's chaos of weapons, multiplayer races, different cars, high performance. And as mentioned as well, I think the greatest part about this as well is the fact that you can literally play this either flat or in VR. So again, you know, I know Perp Games are quite renowned for producing VR games in general. We've got several titles in our Summer Spectacular that are not VR. This is kind of like a mix of the two in a way. So like it caters to both VR players and to the flat screen players. But it is worth bearing in mind that the other two binary mill games, which we're going to be covering in the next 2 weeks, they are both VR. So we've got Rush VR and we've got Gun Club VR as well. So both of those are specific VR titles. This is the only binary mill game that is actually just a bit of both. So, I mean, it's interesting to note as well about Mini Motor Racing X. This isn't actually the first game in that franchise from the binary mill. Basically, the binary mill before they got into VR games is a lot of mobile titles, and Motor Racing was actually one of those mobile titles. So it's because this is fully fleshed out. You know, it's got graphics, as you can see, are really, really spectacular on this as well. You've got much bigger, vibrant environments. You know, everything is just really well designed and put together. This is fully fledged experience. But it is important to note that, you know, the binary mill did have some success with, you know, major titles on mobile previously, and that actually it's also inspired Gun Club VR as well, which is another one of their titles which we're also publishing. But yeah, I mean, it's great. I think for me, this is a great game to kick off our Summer Spectacular with, because not only have you got, as I mentioned, the VR and the flat screen component, but it's just such an accessible and fun game to play. I mean, I really enjoy being able to just a good old racer like this. It just reminds me of like the classics, like I say, Micro Machines and Mario Kart, games I grew up with and played a lot. But it also encourages, you know, family-friendly action and activity. It really genuinely is. It's a lot of fun. And you know, I think for me personally, as someone who, you know, has always enjoyed a good racing game, and I'm not necessarily the type of person who's great at Gran Turismos or, you know, Forzas or games like that, but these types of games, I always feel like I'm at least semi-competitive. You know, I always feel like I have a chance to at least win a race. So I think for me, that's the beauty of Mini Motor Racing X, is that I feel like, and I think that's the same for many people. I mean, many of the deep, complex races, you know, I mean, they do definitely cater to a certain skill set. These types of games, they really do like make people feel as if they can play against one another and they can feel competitive in this environment. It's me playing with the cameras again. Yeah, I didn't do so well this time in 4th place. But I think that's one of the key things as well, is that, you know, depending on where you rank, you can revisit these tracks at any point and try again. But obviously for the championship, you do need to try and get, you know, 3 stars on each one in order to be able to progress to the next set of stages. I'm actually going to skip ahead in this video just a little bit because I've got to play around with this. But I'm just going to quickly upgrade and show you. Obviously, you can upgrade the handling, the nitro, the acceleration, the top speed, so you can keep improving your car and developing it over time. So yeah, I skipped ahead to this stage. I just had to show you this one because this one is so cool. So this is like basically an airport hangar where you're driving around. You know, you've got the different sort of you know, the tiers to the airport. So you've got the taxi rank down there. This is a well designed circuit. This is one of my favorites, I think, entering departures. And it's kind of it nods and winks to several races as well. I think it reminds me of a lot of races that I've played in the past that I've loved and enjoyed. Yeah, I mean, this is this is Mini Motor Racing X. As mentioned, this is available at retailers everywhere from today. So you can literally go, you can pick it up from Games, Amazon's, you can pick it up from Shop2, Base, wherever you shop. You know, you'll be able to pick up Mini Motor Racing X. It's also available, as mentioned, on the Perp Games store, so you can buy it directly from us. And actually, if you do get it from the Perp Games store, we've currently got an offer on for all 3 of the binary mill games, where if you buy all 3 of them from us, you can actually get a limited edition sleeve as well. So you can basically store all the games in one collective sleeve. So if that's something you want to do, then just check out the store and check out the link to the store below, and absolutely, yeah, we can talk you through that process wherever you are based. We do ship internationally as well as just inside the UK as well. But I think just to kind of really wrap up on this, go on, we'll show you one more track. We'll show you the bunker. Just to sort of really wrap up on this, obviously, I've mentioned you've got the championship career mode, but within that, the exciting part is that you have you know, the Type X mode, which is a bit more frantic, fast paced, got added weapons, chaos weapon, you got added addition of weapons within that. Or you got the classic mode if you just don't really want, you just want to be able to use nitro boost and just to be able to fly through the campaign, you know, and then, you know, just actually play for real. You know, the game has been redesigned for VR, so you can play this in VR, you can play this flat screen however you prefer. If you've got a PlayStation VR headset and you've got a game that supports that as well as a flat screen game, you can play, you know, you can play multiplayer. You can actually play multiplayer crossplay between VR and non-VR gameplay as well, which is a really cool feature. So if you'd rather play in VR, you can play crossplay with another friend, you know, who's playing on flat screen. That's totally something you could do in Mini Motor Racing X. There's a multiplayer mode, as mentioned, up to 4 players. There's a local career co-op as well. And you know, you can upgrade your rides, you can upgrade your cars, as you've seen throughout this video as well, using the winnings you've got from races. And you know, I just think for everything I said about this, Mini Motor Racing X for me, it's one of my favorite kind of games. I think it's one of my favorite games in our Summer Spectacular lineup, to be honest, because it just really encapsulates everything. It encapsulates the style of the racing that I've loved growing up with as a kid, but also it encourages families to get together and play together. But that is really going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for joining us for this first week of our Summer Spectacular. This is Mini Motor Racing X. It's now available at retailers everywhere. Do check out the rest of our videos throughout the coming weeks, and we'll see you for the next time.